Welcome to Cavaletto Studios. I am so glad you are here to foam roll with me today. We will be using a tennis ball and a 36-inch foam roller. Any density is fine. If you enjoyed today's class, please like and subscribe below. Let's get started. We are now getting started and we're going to work our way from the feet all the way up the body to the head. So we are going to begin standing. You can use your foam roller as a balance object or you can use a wall, whatever works for you. So your tennis ball is going to be out on the floor in front of you or on your mat. We are going to start with our toes pointing forward. I want you to have maybe 1 to 2 fist distance between your feet so you can focus on that posture and the alignment of the legs. So it's very important not to have the feet turned out, but have them facing front. So it's standing nice and tall. Let's check in with the body. So today we're going to work on our fascia. Let's take a nice deep breath in, reach the arms to the sky. I want you to just reach up to one side and then the other. And just check in with what's going on. Feel the hips, the back, the shoulders, all the way down to the feet. And notice what's going on. So as we go through the different areas of the body, I'm also going to tell you little tidbits of the fascia, what it does, what its purpose is, what we are actually doing. One more time each side, and then relax those arms. Now we're going to do a couple of checks of the body because I want to show you how the fascia on the bottom of our feet can affect how far we reach and what goes on with our shoulders. So now you're going to take your arms and you're going to reach all the way down to the floor. Now, if you can't reach the floor, that's okay. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see in case you're like, what is she doing? I'm reaching towards the floor. I'm relaxing through the hips. And now, I want you to check in with your hamstrings, your calf muscles, your hips, your shoulders. Let your head hang heavy. Now, take notice. I want you to pick a side that is talking to you more. Is one hamstring tighter than the other? Is your weight leaning more on one side than the other? Just pick a side that feels like it maybe has a little more tension than the other, and then we're slowly going to roll ourselves all the way back up. Now, if you have no idea what side to even pick, that's okay. There's not a right or wrong. I just want you to figure out what side you might be feeling a little bit more. Now, once you've figured that out, then if say it's the right side, that's what you're going to start on. If it's the left. If you have no idea, just pick a side. So I'm going to start on my right side. So with that tennis ball, I'm going to lift up my foot and I'm placing the ball of my foot on the tennis ball and the heel on the floor. Now, if you don't have a tennis ball, a racquetball, a lacrosse ball, golf ball can work, but those are very hard. And I never want you to push so hard that you hurt yourself or injure yourself. So it's very gentle. And I'm just drawing my foot side to side across that tennis ball. And again, you can use that roller as balance or you can challenge your balance and not hold on to anything. So your heel is on the floor and you're drawing that tennis ball side to side. So there's fascia on the bottom of the foot and we are massaging it out. Fascia is connective tissue that runs through the whole body. I would like to do a little call out to Dr. Thomas Myers if you're ever looking for more research on fascia or myofascial release, which is what we're doing here today. Check out his information. He has a great book, Anatomy Trains. Then you're going to slide that foot forward. So your heel is still on the floor, but now that tennis ball is going more into the arch of the foot, and you're gently rolling side to side. And I always emphasize gently. I don't want you to have pain. If you have any kind of a neuroma, things like that, that's where you really want to lessen off. And also check with your doctor if this is causing any kind of extreme pain. That is not a good sign. So you're going side to side. Now you're going to bring that ball back. So you're going to the very top of the arch of the ball of the foot, past the arch in front of it. I want you to lift and lower those toes. See if now if you can push all the toes down, but just lift the big toe. And then push the big toe down and just lift the big toe. And then draw that foot one more time side to side. Now you're right at the base of the ball of the foot, close to those toes. Now, you can also lift the heel and just gently roll forward and back. I'm going to show you one more that you can do on that foot. So we're still on the same foot. Super important to stay on the same foot. I'm bringing my toe or ball of the foot to the floor. Lift the heel and draw your heel gently back and forth across that tennis ball. Be mindful you're on a bone, so you're not pressing hard. If it causes pain, ease off the pressure. And just massaging out. So that fascia tissue wraps around the bottom of the foot. You can go in there when it gets really tight or you got stuff going on in the calf. It can cause inflammation in the plantar fascia. So this is very good for helping out if you have plantar fascia in that foot and loosening things up and hopefully taking away any pain that you might have. Unless it's really bad, then of course you definitely always need to see your doctor first. Now you're going to take that foot off the tennis ball. Once you're done, I want you to take it behind you and just do a little gentle press release. So we're stretching out all the way through the toes. You're pushing the toes in, the ball of the foot, lifting the heel, and then draw that heel back down. So really massaging out a little extra with the stretch, the bottoms of the feet. I'm going to spend a little extra time here. Now roll the foot to each toe, so you roll to the in and the outside of it. Almost like you're making an arc with the ball of the foot. Now we're done with that. We're going to line the toes up. Don't go to the other foot yet. I want you to just bring the toes back to where they were and just stand tall and notice the difference already in the leg that you were just working on. Way different. You might be feeling some energy running through it. Again, that's the fascia, the tissue, hydrating. Super great for the body. Now I want you to take both arms and reach them up to the sky. Make sure you relax those shoulders and then alternate reaching the arms. Notice the difference when you reach the arm on the side you just rolled on that foot. Does it feel a little looser, maybe all the way through the hip, the rib cage? The other side might feel a little stiffer. Maybe you don't notice a difference. Maybe you feel a huge difference. Everybody's a little different. I notice a big difference for me on the side I just rolled. Then you're going to take your hands after from the air. Let's bring them all the way back down. Reach for the floor again. So now you're back down just like we started when we were testing it out. Again, notice how far your arm reaches on the side you just rolled. Does it feel like it can reach further all the way through your hip, maybe the base of the spine, your shoulder, maybe the rib cage, or just even the hamstrings and the calves feel a little looser? Then you're going to roll it back up. So we're going to fix if you feel lopsided, we're going to fix that. So you're going to take your other foot, whatever one you started with, flip sides, find like the nice solid, I'm going to point on the bottom of my foot, that bottom of the foot right there. And we're going to place the heel on the floor, that part of the foot on the tennis ball, and then a gentle press release. Press release, just a gentle, test it out first, and then roll the foot side to side, side to side. Now you might feel a little, I call them twingies or crunchies. Crunchies is more, it's like the crystallized or tissue or the adhesions in the fascia. So just draw it side to side if you feel like zingers or nerve pain, I call them. They definitely do not want to go there. You want to ease off the tension. Maybe this is the side. If you have any plantar fasciitis, you might have more tenderness. And this is self-care for the body. Very important. So after rolling side to side, we're going to bring that tennis ball further back into the arch and draw side to side. So I actually keep one of these right by my desk. Sometimes I'll be sitting at my desk and I'll just put the tennis ball under my foot. If you're at work, just take off your, when you go to work tomorrow, take off your shoe and put that tennis ball under there and just massage it under your desk just to get your feet from sitting. It helps get the things loosened up. Side to side, just massaging it out. And then you can also draw it forward and back. Now I'm moving that whole foot. I'm going to pull it all the way back, go to the base where the toes are. Lift and lower the toes. Notice the difference in the feet. Now try lowering the toes and just lifting the big toe. You can do it easier on one foot than the other. We want to make sure those big toes are working really well. They do a lot to support our balance. Now, you're going to bring that tennis ball to the heel. So make sure you put the ball of the foot, the toes on the floor, and draw gently side to side. I remember when I first started doing this, I didn't have a tennis ball, I had a golf ball. It was really hard and it hurt. So if it hurts, get something softer. I prefer a tennis ball. You can even use the little bouncy balls like that you get. We used to play jacks when we were kids. In a lot of the like the little party sections or party stores, sometimes you can find the little bouncy balls, and those are great too if they're soft for the bottoms of the feet. All right, so we're getting that heel done, checking in with it. Now take that foot behind you and let's stretch it out. Press, release, press, release. So when we massage out the fascia doing with the tennis ball and the foam roller, it is called self-myofascial release. It's very similar to a deep tissue massage. So we want to be mindful of how hard we're pushing and making sure you're drinking lots of water. So make sure you hydrate during this class and drink a little bit extra after class throughout the day, and eating some good nutrient-dense foods. All right, so we are done with the bottom of both feet. So let's line up those toes again and check out where we can reach. Reach it up, both sides. Notice again, now maybe you can reach the top shelf. You can get those arms a little bit higher. One more time each side, and then I want you to reach for the floor. Let's forward fold all the way down. And again, check out where your arms can reach. Maybe they can go a little bit further, both of them. Maybe your hips are more relaxed. Take a deep breath in, and then out, and then soften the knees, and we're gonna roll all the way back up. So we're gonna take our tennis ball, and we're gonna set it to the side. So what we're gonna do today, so we start at the bottoms of the feet, and we're going to work our way up the body, like I said. So we're gonna start on the back of the body. So we're going to calf muscles. So I want you to just take your roller and lay it longwise on your mat, excuse me, not longwise, across your mat. So you can sit on the floor, and you're gonna bring your, bring one foot on top of the mat roller, or both feet. So if you are struggling to get, if it's hard or you've got something going on in your body, you don't have to bring both legs up. You can keep one on the side. You can hold onto the leg if that feels better for you, if you don't want to have your hands on the floor. Lots of options. I just like to give options so you go to where you're comfortable. Notice I'm not completely on my ankle. I'm up a little ways. So when I bend and straighten, I can get that full range of motion. I do prefer to put my foot on top, my leg. So I'm starting on my right. I get my left ankle on top of my right ankle. Reason being, it adds a little more pressure because I've been doing this for a long time. If you go here and this is like instantly, there's pain, take your foot off and just hold on to it, because then it really lightens the pressure and you can roll your legs side to side or bend and straighten. So then we're gonna bend and straighten, and that right toe, that bottom foot, is straight up and down to the sky. So we're getting right along the back of that calf. The bottom part, which attaches and goes down into underneath, there's the soleus, in case you cared, what muscles are in the lower part of your leg. But if you've got plantar fasciitis or you've got any issues going on in the ankle, super good for you. We are also gonna take that leg now, so we bend and straighten, turn it slightly to the right and cross your left ankle over the right. And then again, bend and straighten. So now we're getting along the outside edge. So right here, along the outside edge of the ankle. Now, if you find a knot in any of these places, I'm gonna show you what to do with that knot. Turn your foot now in. So now you're on the inside edge. So we wanna get all three areas of the back of that leg, the lower leg. So bend and straighten. So as you're doing this, you're like, I can feel that. Or there feels like a little knot or a bump in there. So go back to the center, and then we're gonna rotate that ankle. Rotate, rotate. Reverse direction. So you're rotating both ways, and you're gonna turn that leg to the right and then rotate the ankle again. If you wanna bend and straighten with a little rotation, you can do that till you find that spot, and then roll inside and a little bend and straighten or rotate. Now, if you find that spot or that knot, adhesion, crystallized tissue that's super tender, if it's super tender and it causes pain, I want you to move off of it because it's probably too much pressure. Move back onto it. Sometimes it takes time to get that area to relax or to get those knots out. All right, so once we've gotten that area, so you're doing some bend and straightening, turning the leg, what I want you to do is move the roller up a few inches. So we started down in here, now we're going up a little bit higher. So you're about the middle of the lower leg, right in the middle. And we're gonna do some bending and straightening again. Oh, I found a knot, so do some circles. I'm gonna turn my leg out, so turn that whole right leg out. So you're getting the outside edge, some circles one way and then the other. Maybe you just hold it still and circle the ankle. So again, you get to play around with it and then turn it in, some bending and straightening, so great. This is just all about rotating that ankle, getting the fascia tissue to hydrate, getting it to release if there's any spots that we don't want to be stuck in there, that stuck tissue. All right, so we've gone to the middle, outside, and inside. Now we're moving to the highest part. So now you're gonna move into the top, the meaty part of the calf, the gastrocnemius, which attaches right below that knee. So again, we're way up here. So you're bending and straightening. Now, if you have plantar fasciitis, you might find a spot, like a knot, like a big old knot, and it's okay if you don't get it to go away right away. Just keep working on it. Now, if any spots or knots, if you've got, obviously, like if it's hot, that's not a good sign. You want to always check with your doctor if you get blood clots, things like that. This is not something you would do on that area. So just be smart. Use common sense. If there's some varicose veins or some things that you have going on, always check with your doctor first. Turn that leg on the inside now, rotating the ankle, both directions. Sometimes I forget. I get so into like just bending and straightening. I'm like, oh, I forgot to roll it this way or this way. So it's okay if you forget. I do too. And then we go back if you have another spot. So we're going up, when we bend and straighten, we're going pretty high up. The key not to go behind the knee like this. So if I bend and I can get my fingers up in there, that's the area you don't want to bring the roller. Keeping it low. Again, I'm all about keeping it safe, doing what feels good to you. So we've got that whole calf massaged out. So what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna switch legs. So let's just go to the other foot. So your left leg is on that roller a little bit above the ankle, right leg is on top, and you're gonna bend and straighten. So remember, you do not have to have the legs crossed. You can even do both at the same time, if that feels better to you. And you'll just do it a little bit longer and make sure you have water, you're getting a drink. If you need a break, to go grab a drink. And then circle that ankle, just jump back in because we have quads to do. We're gonna work our way up, like I said, up the body. We're gonna do the quads get very tight, so we always wanna make sure we try to touch on the quads at least once a week. And then, the gastroc, I just said quads. Quads you get every time you roll. Gastroc probably about once a week. Glutes every time you roll, and then upper back every time. So whenever I do these classes, I will always include glutes, quads, and upper back, and then I throw in extras. Like today is going to be for plantar fasciitis, the feet and the calf muscles, trying to loosen up that whole area. So you're rolling that foot now, the whole leg to the outside, to the left, circling it around. You're rolling it to the inside, circling it around. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned yet, so maybe you're up here and you're leaning on your hands and your arms or your wrist or your shoulders are super fatigued. You can always drop to your elbows, and you can even lay on your back and do this as well. So you could do this while you're watching TV. What a great way to just keep that tissue hydrated, limber, flexible, mobile. Great way to do it. So you have those options. You can lay on your back. So we're rotating, we're gonna move that roller up. So we're moving to the middle part. So we got the bottom, we got the top, we're right in the middle. Bending and straightening, circling the ankle, and then drawing that foot, circle, take it to the side, and then the other side, circling the ankle. And as I'm going through this, if you have a spot you need to go back to, feel free. I'm just making sure we get everything and I demonstrate, and then we're gonna roll it up. Third part, the top, the gastroc, the deep muscle, big muscle of that bottom leg of the leg, lower half. So bending and straightening, circle, right and left. And you might notice that one side of the one leg has way more knots than the other. Means you're normal. We always have a dominant side, and then turning it in. So as you're learning these things about your body and you want to share this information, please do. Please do educate others, because everyone needs to be working their fascia tissue. It's super great for the body. It keeps us mobile. All right, we are almost there. Circle that ankle. Find if there's any other areas that you won't need to get. All right. So then when we're done, we're going to take the feet off of the roller, but we need to stretch. So we stretch the feet a little bit, but now we're gonna add the stretch with the feet and the calf and really get that whole tissue together to hydrate. So a couple options for stretching. So I'm gonna come onto all fours, and to stretch the calf, you're gonna be in a downward facing dog. Now that's your first, this is like the best option, unless you have like a step that you can drop your heel off of and have balance on there. Now, if that's very challenging for you, you can always put just a foot into the back of the mat, tuck your toes under, like push the ball of your foot under. You can even lean your arms on the roller if you need a little more support. So again, doable for everybody. If you are in a downward facing dog, you can pedal out your feet, relax your shoulders, or an upside down V if you have no idea what a downward dog is. You're going to place your right foot into the floor. And I want you to cross your left ankle over that right ankle again, just like we did, or your foot, whatever works. Shoulders relaxed, and just, I want you to melt down into that right hip. And now breathe. Your heel is pushing into the floor. Now I want you to bend your right knee just enough that your heel comes off. And if it was not touching, that's okay. And then press your heel back into the floor. And now gently move your hips right and left. Swivel your hips. So this really helps to get down into that connective tissue. And then we're gonna release, and we're gonna try the other side. So now you lift your right foot over the left ankle and just lean into it, melt into that left hip. The knee is soft, not locked. And then I want you to bend that left knee slightly. Notice the difference in the ankle and your Achilles tendon, that spot, that hard, that right there in the back of the ankle. I can kind of grab it with my toe. And then you're going to press your left heel a little bit deeper, straighten out the leg again. Now draw the hips gently side to side. Remember, we are not forcing anything here. If you need to be on your elbows, you can. We're almost done. I can tell my left is still, again, if you take my classes, you know my left is always tighter than my right, my left ankle. And we're gonna lower both knees to the floor. So now you are nice and stretched out in the, hopefully the bottoms of the feet and the calf muscles. So we're gonna move on, and we're going to continue with the lower leg, and now we're going to shins. So like I said, we've got the feet, we're moving up, we got the back, now we're gonna do the front. To get to the shins, so there is, this front part of the shin is right here, the anterior tibialis, and there's a bone right there in the front. Be mindful not to hurt your bone right there. It can be sensitive. So I'm gonna show you a couple ways again to foam roll the shins. So your hands are on the floor. I'm gonna drop into my left leg just so you can see a little better. I'm tilted to the side. My right leg is for support. I'm just drawing along, and I turn my foot out so I can get to the meaty part of the shin. If I go directly on it, I'm hitting the bone, and that can be very not comfortable. Now, option, I don't mind adding a little pressure, so I cross my ankles again, and I use my body to roll the knees in and out. You're welcome to be on your elbows. If you find a spot, again, that rotating the ankle, very helpful along here. This also helps prevent shin splints. So you're just rotating that ankle up and down, massaging that tissue, nice and slow. Almost there. And then we're gonna shift sides. So now I'm gonna shift to the other leg. In and out. So remember, you can have one leg back. That takes a little pressure off of the shin. This is super painful, then I want you to ease off. First time I did this, yep, I've had shin splints, and it can be painful. Another option is you can sit on the roller. I'm just gonna sit here on the side, and I'm just doing a very soft, gentle roll with my foot on shin on here. I'll switch sides so you can see even better on this side. So I'm just doing it like this. So you're getting the outside but front part of that shin. So that's where we do that. Okay, so we got both shins done. When you're done, what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring your knees in front of the roller, and you're going to bring the tippy toes, the very tops of your feet, on top of the roller, and your knees are on the floor. Separate your knees, and you're gonna start to hinge your hips backwards. So you're sliding your hips towards your heels. Now, if this bothers your knees or you're like, I can't go back any further, that's okay. Doesn't matter. Maybe you can get your hips all the way back between your feet. Everybody's different, right? Some have injuries. Some of us are more flexible than others. Go where you feel good. We're stretching out now the front of the shins where we just rolled. So you might feel it up through the ankle. And again, notice one side and the other. Maybe you only do one leg at a time if that feels better to you. All right, we're almost there. Now we're gonna lean forward. We're gonna counter stretch. So I want you to bring the roller forward so now the ankles are on the roller. You're gonna flex your feet so they're hanging over the back. So remember, we did the bottoms of the feet, we did the calf, now we did the shins. We're gonna stretch it the opposite way. So we're gonna lift the knees off the floor. I want you to slide back into the balls of the feet. And just bring your roller in front. So now our ankles, calves, everything's all stretched out. So we're gonna move up the leg. This is where we get serious here. Not that we already weren't. We're going to go onto calves. So you're gonna be coming into plank position. Throw my hair back here so it's not in the way, because sometimes this can get you a little warm on the quads, especially if you've got something going on. Attached to the knees, into the hips. So you're going to bring that roller right above the knees. Now we never roll over to the kneecaps. You're gonna come down onto your elbows and your hands flat on the floor. Make sure your back is not sagging. Make sure you're not too overarched. But you can be a little bit if you want to take a little pressure off of the legs, because your toes will be on the floor, but it's hard to relax when you're like that. I want you to just relax and just rest here for a moment. Take a couple breaths and just take a quick assessment of what you're feeling. One, maybe you need a softer roller for the legs here. Maybe yours is good. Maybe you throw a towel or wrap a towel around your roller. This will make it a little bit softer. And then you're gonna roll your body backwards and forwards 1 inch. Backwards and forwards, right above that kneecap. Forward and back, just gently. Think about relaxing as much as you can. Maybe think of something positive that makes you smile as you do this. So again, we're massaging out the fascia tissue. That's the key to remember to keep our knees and our joints healthy, by getting that area moving. Then we're gonna walk the elbows backwards 1 inch, and that means the roller moves up the thigh 1 inch, and you move forward and back again 1 inch. So every time I will be rolling quads, glutes, upper back. If you're on your own, you have a spare moment, always roll quads, glutes, upper back as much as you can. It will get easier, and make sure you stretch after. We're gonna walk those elbows back again, another 1 inch, and move that roller up and down 1 inch. This can also change from day to day. Your hydration level will affect what you're feeling. If you're dehydrated, this can be more painful. If you have done some kind of exercise, you've done a class or worked out or hiked, biked, depending on what you have going on, hip replacement, knee replacement, you might have some tight tissue going on in there, some scar tissue, or some adhesions and crystallized tissue. Walk the elbows back again. Now we're getting to the top of the thigh. Everybody has different leg lengths, so I'm just going slow, letting you know what you have going on. Maybe you've already taken a break, because this might be a little bit too sensitive. Maybe you've been doing this a while and you're just wanting new techniques. Lots of new ways to roll the quad. So we're just getting to the basics. So once you get to the back, I should say to the top of the thigh, I'm going to have you come off of the roller, and let's separate the knees and bring the feet together and take a child's pose. So this is a great way to stretch out the front of that thigh that you just rolled. Arms are on the roller or on the floor, and just stretch everything out. And you want it to feel good. And you want to hold the stretches for probably 10 to 20, maybe 30 seconds. is the best, depending on what feels good to you. And I mentioned before about the softer rollers. You can always, there's different densities of rollers. And you can throw a towel on it. Take a breath in, out. Now we're coming back up and we're gonna repeat the quads. We're gonna roll them again. So we're gonna drop to our elbows. The roller is right above those thighs, the kneecaps again, and you're gonna roll forward and back 1 inch. Just 1 inch. Now you can continue. Now I'm repeating the same thing for those of you who have not done this before. If you would like a different way, you can rock your hips side to side. Now this might be a little bit more challenging. You just go side to side, like an east to west. Maybe you find a spot when you go side to side and you need to do a little forward and back on that spot, and then you can go side to side again. Then you're gonna walk the elbows backwards 1 inch and go side to side, rolling those hips. Side to side, and maybe a little forward and back. And then you walk the elbows back again. I'm going off my mat here. Sometimes you might roll off your mat and go forward and back, and then find that side to side. Now, I noticed that I'm starting to put my toes into the mat because I'm starting to find some sensations that are not too comfortable in those thighs. So you maybe slow it down, maybe draw the legs forward and back. Again, make adjustments for what you have going on in the body. Now I'm gonna walk my elbows back again, forward, back, maybe a little side to side again as you move up. And you'll notice different areas of the thighs that are more tender than the others. Means you're normal. When you get to the top, you're gonna slide off again. This time we're gonna stretch them a different way. So it's always good to try to stretch, not just around the knees, but we wanna get into those hip flexors as well, because that's where those quads stretch. So we're gonna drop to the belly. You're gonna bring your hand underneath your chin and reach back for your foot and pull your foot towards your glute. Such a great stretch. Now, if you can't reach your foot, use a strap or a towel. You can also lay on your side, use your arm under your head as a pillow. You can even reach say you can't reach your foot, just put your foot behind you and push your hips up. Or just stay on your belly. Whatever works for you. Just like to give options. Relax your shoulder, really stretch. Remember, we're holding this at least 20 seconds. Maybe you count to 20. Nice and slow. Try to relax the whole leg on this one. We're gonna just relax it right now. Making sure your belly's pulled in, you're not overarching the back. You don't wanna feel your low back. And now we're gonna release that leg and go to the other side. So this is a great stretch for those quads. Try to keep the knees close together. And you're breathing. If you're on the floor, you can see where you need to dust. I can. See where I can. Time to clean. Feel that quad stretching out. And then we're going to release it. And you're going to use your hands to slide yourself up. Take a child's pose. This one's just to stretch out the back. In case you were pulling really hard on those legs or just stretching a little much. And we're going to come all the way up. Now you're going to bring that roller back across your mat, and we're going to sit on the roller. So we did the lower leg, the front of the upper leg. We're going to continue on. We're going to actually skip the hamstrings today, and we're going right to the glutes. So for the glutes, you're going to lean onto your to one side. I'm starting on my left, and I'm using my leg to roll myself to the top and bottom of that roller. Your hand can be on the floor. You're welcome to drop to your elbow if it bothers your wrist. Blocks or books to lift yourself up is very helpful. So you get that whole range to the top and the bottom of that glute. Then you're going to take, if you want a little bit more, that left ankle over the right thigh. Open up the knee and roll some more, all the way top and bottom of that whole glute area. Continue rolling all the way up and down. Now you're going to find right in the middle of that glute, and I want you to rock east and west. Draw the knee towards the roller and then roll away. Just massaging out that glute. If you want to draw little circles, that's another option. Reverse direction. Now this is where I always call them speed bumps. I find speed bumps in the glutes. They got little tender spots there. So see if you lifted the day before, maybe you ran or hiked, or you sat a lot. One more roll. Now we're going to release that foot, and I'm going to have you slide off of the roller. So I want you to go all the way down into a nice tall seated posture, legs out in front. Now the leg the glute, the side of the butt cheek that you were on, I want you to bend that knee and then cross it over the straight leg, hug it in, and lift and twist towards that bent knee, towards that hip and that glute that you just foam rolled. Let's stretch it out. You can use the arm behind you as a kickstand. And breathe. Feels so good. So one side again might be tighter than the other. I want you to tune into that. What's going on this side, on this hip? Does it talk to you more when you're doing things? What is going on with it? Holding those stretches for 20 seconds. Maybe flex the right foot. That helps you get a little deeper into it and lengthen through the spine. Sit up nice and tall. And breathe. If you have water close by, maybe grab a drink as we switch to the other glute. So we're going to let go of that leg. I'm going to flip around so you can see. So I'm lifting up, jumping up onto my right glute, right butt cheek. So you're going to use, again, the arms. You can have the hands flat, knuckle onto the elbow, and I'm just using my foot to roll all the way to the top and the bottom of that glute. And just breathe. And again, notice the difference. I'm on my right. I'm right-handed, so a little bit more going on this side for me today. And after a few rolls, we're going to take that right leg and cross it over the left ankle. Now, when you do this and it causes like more sensation or it's very uncomfortable or too much discomfort, you do not have to cross that leg. All the way to the top and the bottom. So after the glutes, we're going to move into upper back and shoulder armpit, really get some loose, get some range of motion in those shoulders and help improve our posture. And then we'll be moving into massaging the head and maybe a little bit of the base of the skull. So it will end on just a really good feel-good note. We're almost there. Now we're going to find the middle of the glute and we're going to rock side, east and west, side to side. Again, finding if there's any spots there. Now, when you're done, we're going to uncross that leg, have a seat in front of the roller, straighten out your left, cross your right leg over the top. Let's hold on to that right leg with your left hand, stretching out that glute. Right hand can be behind you for support. And you're breathing, sitting as tall as you can. Flex that left leg. Listen to your body. And notice the difference on this side. How is this hip, flexibility-wise, comparatively to the other side? And I will always ask you that because I want you to be in tune with your body. It's important to learn, what side has more resistance than the other? Maybe we need to work on that. I have to ask myself that all the time. And it changes depending on activity level, what I have or haven't done. All right, we're going to release that leg and shake it out. So now the roller hopefully is behind you. So we're going to move to upper body. Moving on up. So to the middle of the back by the shoulder blades. So I want you to find your shoulder blades. So you might have to make adjustments. Hips are staying on the floor. We're going to bring the hands behind the ears. We're not interlacing because then we tend to crank on the head. So hands behind the ears, So you're supporting your head so you can really lengthen the neck and you're not having your head fall backwards or there's no pain there. Now we're gonna practice and see where our range of motion is with our thoracic spine, the upper back. So you're gonna feel your body opening up, expanding through the rib cage and then coming back up. Now, as you come back, a couple things could be happening. Let's say you open up, keep your hips on the floor, but you feel like it's catching your breath or painful. You're probably too low on your shoulder blades or it's low on your back. So what you want to do is move up a little higher. Let's say you go back and you feel like I can't get anywhere. You might be too high on the shoulder blades and you can only move your head, which we don't want to move our head at all. So find that sweet spot. Make adjustments up and down. And you're breathing. If at any time this causes pain, that means your body's saying, don't go here. So you want to listen to your body. If you are not sure of contraindications, again, check in the description of this video and that will tell you about what contraindications to be mindful of. Now you're going to come up to center and we're going to roll the upper back. Again, check in to make sure that it's okay for you to be rolling your back. Feet are flat on the floor. Now we're going to lift our hips and we're going to roll to the shoulders and then to the middle of the back. When I say middle of the back, it's basically where my belly button would come out the back side. And then I go back up and down. So you might get a natural chiropractic adjustment. Now, some people ask me, well, what about rolling my low back? Well, that one is up to you. I would highly recommend double checking with your doctor or your chiropractor or your physical therapist or whoever you have contact with about your physical body to make sure it is okay for you to do that. Lots of contraindications for the low back and I don't want you to hurt yourself. So I am just rolling my upper back. You want to be mindful of any floating ribs, things going on in the body. Bulging discs, degenerative discs, herniated discs, so many things that could be going on. So again, just being mindful and taking self-care. And we're going to find the middle of the back where we started and lower our hips. So hopefully you feel really good now. So you're going to use your arms, you're going to lift yourself up. I want you to just hug your knees and then draw your chin to your chest and just give me a nice stretch through the upper back. You're breathing, lengthening. Good. And then you're going to release. Now, I want you to do a quick check on your range of motion. So we had done the feet and we improved our range of motion a little bit with our shoulders. You can have your legs straight or you can cross them, but I want you to sit up tall. I just want you to reach each hand. I'll turn a little bit so you can see. Reach each hand up and just notice the difference. Like, is there something going on the shoulder, the back? Where maybe the armpit is one side tighter than the other. Just notice and then release the arms. Fabulous. Now, if you can, start on your left side. If you can start on your left side. So I'm going to start on my left just so I can show you a little difference here. So on the left side, we're going to go into the lat area. So the meaty parts. If you take your arm and like your hand and stick it under your left armpit and then walk your fingers back and you find that spot right behind the armpit, right in there. That's the area we're going to go to, okay? We're not going down here underneath the armpit or behind there. That's the rib cage. We don't want to go there. You want to stay up here in the shoulder blade. So I'm going to lean back onto my left shoulder blade. I'm going to drop to my left hip and bring the hand elbow to the floor and my head is supported in my hand. I'm going to mention this real quick though too, contraindications, again, checking lymph nodes missing, try not to draw into that place and make sure you're using a soft roller. So we're going to roll the shoulder blade. So you're going to ease your body back, rolling backwards onto the shoulder blade. Elbow does come up, like you're going to roll on your back, and then you're going to roll forward like you're going into the armpit. Elbow goes to the floor so we support our head, and you can draw into the armpit. Again, be mindful of what you have going on in your body, if that's okay to do that. And if you find any trigger points, if you've had any shoulder issues, you might feel some things. So you're gently rolling forward and back. Forward and back. Nice and gentle. And just be mindful of what you feel. The head and the neck are relaxed. We're going to do a few more rocks. Now, if you want to get a little more range of motion, a bigger range of motion, you can reach your arm out and you can reach it way back behind you and make some bigger rolls. Reach it out and reach it all the way back. Reach it out and all the way back. One more time. And all the way back. Now, when we go back this time, we're going to come up again. We're going to sit all the way up. And when you sit up, let your arm just rest. Just feel the difference already. Maybe let your head move a little bit, left and right. We talked about stretching, always holding that stretch. So 2 ways you can stretch. 1, take that arm, hold the wrist, and just gently pull it over. If that bothers your shoulder, if you have any impingements going on, maybe just bend the elbow and do a little press. Third option is just to bring it across if you don't want to lift your arm overhead. So, but stretch it out, that side that you just were on, the left side. And you're breathing. So you stretch it over. So years ago, when I first started with the foam roller, oh my goodness, my posture was, let's just say, not the best. So this has definitely helped my posture, helped my range of motion. We're going to release that arm, let it come down. Rotate those shoulders up, back, and down. Now I want you to test out how far you can reach again. Reach up the 2 arms. Oh, what a difference. My left side is so much looser, like just all the way down. The right is a little stiff. I know your right was probably stiffer in the beginning, but you can probably really feel a difference now. So we're going to go to the right side. Now, the reason I did the right last is because if you work on a computer and you're using the mouse, the connective tissue, the fascia, runs all the way up the arm like this through the tricep to the shoulder blade. So you want to be mindful of that. So this side, maybe you won't spend as much time on because it might be too uncomfortable. You're going to drop to your right hip. I'm going to support my head in my hands, elbow on the floor. And I'm leaning backwards into that shoulder blade and then back into the elbow towards the armpit. So you have control on how much pressure you put on the area. And just breathe through it. If you need a break, take a break and get a drink and jump back in. So when I talk about being painful or you have spots like rotator cuff injuries or an impingement, things like that, and you're just like, whoa, it's sending things up into my neck, take a break, come back, and what you want to do is continually get softer or throw a towel, contact your physical therapist, your doctor, chiropractor, and just get them to check on what's going on in there. So a lot of options, but you want to make sure you can keep working on it to get anything released that needs to be released, hydrated, mobile, things like that. But of course not causing any damage if you've got stuff going on. And I just like to reiterate that because we're all different. A couple more times. Now, if you want more, you can reach the arm forward and then all the way back. And then leaning forward. You can even go towards the chest wall. Back and forward again. We got 2 more times. And last one. Now we're going to come all the way back up to a seated position. Nice and tall. And notice the difference when you just sit up. Maybe it feels a little more level, even now. Let's stretch it out. So hold on to the wrist, pull it over. You can always bend the elbow or pull it across. And breathe. Relax those shoulders. Now, as we are finishing up here, I want you to reach up both sides. We're getting to the good part. We're going to massage out the head, the neck, release any tension. Notice the difference and let the arms rest. Just again, hydration. Feel that little whoosh, I call it. That's the whoosh of the hydration of that tissue. So we are going to move on. We did upper back, we got into the armpits, now we're going to go up into the neck. So we've worked our way up the body. The only part we did different, we did some shins in the front. Of course, we always do the quads. So the head. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay back with your head on the roller. Like a pillow. Feels so good. And your hips are resting on the floor. Your feet, you're going to walk them in a little bit closer. Hands closer to the heels so you can really rest. Good. Now, I want you to gently roll your head to the right on the roller. Now, when it comes to the right, I want you to make a couple adjustments. Maybe bring the roller a little bit so it's not just touching the occipital, the base of the skull, but it's a little bit on the muscle of your neck, but never on the side. Okay, we're not going to the side of the neck. We're just right there, like the back, but not on the vertebrae. I have to bring my picture in here and show the muscles on one of these videos, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. A little rock, a little nod, yes, no. Let's try the other side. So as you turn your head to the other side, find that occipital bone, making sure it's not touching your vertebrae directly. A little rock and a roll on the base of the skull. And again, you want this to feel good, not cause pain. It's like a massage. It feels so good. And then you're going to bring the roller, bring your head to neutral, center. Bring the roller a little bit higher up. So it's more on the base of your skull, not your neck. So you can almost reach back and touch the vertebrae of your neck. If you feel like the roller is going to roll away, you can always hold the edges. And then again, draw your head to one side and just a little nod, yes and no. So you're higher up, more on the head part, not on the neck. Just a little nod. And then you're going to gently roll your head to the other side. A little nod. Yes and no. Then bring your head back to center. You're going to draw your chin to your chest. Now you're going to adjust the roller to a little bit higher up onto the back of your head. So I want you to change it so you're looking up at the ceiling or the sky, and the roller is right in the middle of your head, and you're holding to the outside edges of your roller. Again, hips still on the floor. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to drop both knees to your right, but turn your head to the left. And just breathe. And then bring your head back to center. Lift your knees, let them drop to the left, and turn your head to the right. And you're breathing again. And just notice the difference in the two sides. Now you're going to bring your head to neutral, bring your knees back up. Now your head's still in the middle of the roller. So again, make adjustments. If you have a ponytail, move it out of the way. And hold the edges. I want you to rock your head gently side to side. So you're massaging along the back of the head. Hopefully this feels good. You want this to feel good. If it does not, then don't do this, because you want it to feel good. There's something else maybe going on. I don't know what and why it would not hurt, why it would hurt. But it's like getting a massage when you get your hair washed at the salon. So then turn your head to one side, nod it yes. It's like if that massage person got their hands and they're massaging your head, it feels so good. And then turn your head to the other side, a little yes or no. And then bringing it back to center. So you're still looking up at the sky, the ceiling, and then let your chin gently drop. Now you have a little more space, or you're more of a stretch through the back of your neck because your head was right on top of the roller. But you're not collapsing through the throat. You want to still be able to breathe. And then you're going to lift the head to neutral, back to center. Now I want you to take the roller out from behind your head and just let the roller go behind you and let your head go all the way to the floor. We're going to straighten out our legs all the way down. I want you to walk your shoulders away from the ears, flip your palms up. Notice where the back of your head is touching the floor. If you can, close your eyes if you're comfortable to do so. Or just let the face muscles soften. Feel your legs fall open. Take a deep breath in through the nose, and then we're going to let it out through the mouth. Now, staying in this position, gently let your head roll to the right. Just breathe. Very slowly, you're going to let your head roll through the center to the left. And then back to center. You're going to walk your feet in nice and close to your hips. Tuck your hips, reach your arms over your head. Maybe you hit your roller. Really, really reach them. If you'd like, you can push your feet into your mat or your floor and lift your hips, lengthening through the torso and then lowering all the way back down. And then we're going to pull the knees into the chest to give them a squeeze and a rock side to side. Massaging out that low back. And then we're going to find our center. We're going to bring the arms out to a T. Now I'm going to have you drop both knees to your right. Just a nice little twist. Maybe turn your head the opposite way. It's like wringing out a towel. Another breath, and then you're going to bring your head back to neutral. I want you to slowly lift your knees all the way back up and across to the other side. And just breathe again. Another breath. You're going to lift the knees to center. I want you to hug the knees into your chest. Relax those shoulders. Take a deep breath in. Release those feet all the way to the floor. We're going to turn to the side. I want you to press yourself up. And you're going to sit nice and tall. Sit up nice and tall. Let's check in with our posture. So we worked our way all the way from our feet up the body. If you would please put in comments when you're done what area, that whether it be the quads or the glutes or the shins or the upper back, felt the best to you. Which area? Just let me know in the comments. Relax the shoulders, draw the chin into the chest, somewhat in alignment, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Put a smile on your face. Take a deep breath in. Let it out through your mouth. Let's reach the arms all the way up. Feel how much more extension you have. Exhale, palms to heart space. Thank you so much for joining today. Namaste.